And I want to remind you, if you need to be reminded, that Russia today is not the same as Russia yesterday. Yes, there used to be a Soviet Union, which was a superpower. But that superpower was sometimes acting in tandem with the West. As you can see what happened in the war of 1973, when the Zionists were on both sides of the war. And that's why the war was taken to a draw. And as a result of that, Anwar Sadat then had a chance to make this glorified peace with Israel. So that was a piece of fancy footwork on the part of the Soviet Union. And then you see the Soviet Union again in tandem with the West when in 1952, Nikita Khrushchev handed over Crimea, which is Russian, to Ukraine in the middle of the night, without asking the people of Crimea what they wanted, without seeking permission of the people in Russia. This is what Nikita Khrushchev did. So you see the Soviet Union playing a game with the Western world and throwing dust in our eyes. But yes, yet the Soviet Union was a superpower. But this post-Soviet Union Russia, this Russia which was crumbling when the Soviet Union collapsed, within a brief span of 20-something years, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has shown his capacity to help. And this Russia has grown now to a position where it is so powerful that look at what has happened. The Western world has been ruling over mankind for the last 300 years or more, and changing regimes all over the world, willy-nilly, particularly in South and Central America. They use the Monroe Doctrine. This is our backyard. Nobody comes into our backyard. And so they've been changing regimes willy-nilly all over Central and South America for the last 200 years. Why have they not been able to change the regime in Venezuela, the government of Venezuela, because it's an elected government? Why? Answer, they've done everything they could do. There's nothing else they can do now. But they've not been able to change the Venezuelan government, the legitimate Venezuelan government. Why? Because they cannot invade. There's no military option. Why is there no military option when this is in your backyard? The answer is that if they try to change the government of Venezuela through a military intervention, they'll have to face Russia. And they don't want to face Russia because Russia is not Libya. Russia is too powerful for them. That's why they have not been able to invade Venezuela. Number two, we have pointed out that Russia took a tremendously dangerous step when Russia intervened to save Syria. It could have led to nuclear war. But with indescribable courage and integrity, and with the entire people of the Russian Federation supporting their government, Russia intervened in Syria and blasted the bogus jihad, the ISIS jihad, which was created and funded and manufactured by the CIA and by the puppy dogs of the CIA, by Saudi Arabia, by Qatar, and of course, who else? Turkey. Turkey was up to the neck in the effort to overthrow the Syrian government. And Russia has succeeded. The Western world have never known this before. There's a force so powerful that they can defeat the West. And that's what Russia did in Syria. But the one that hurt the most for the West was when they suffered the greatest defeat in the entire history of modern Western civilization. And that is in 2014 when they lost Crimea. Russia took Crimea, or rather took back Crimea, because Crimea belonged to Russia. Russia took back Crimea in 2 weeks without firing a shot. And for this, they have never forgiven themselves. Russia is now facing this bitter hatred and envy from the West because of the power that Russia now has, and Russia is not prepared to bend on its knee and submit to them.